All right, so I'm back from my little hiatus. I didn't have anything filmed ahead of time that I could have gotten up. Well, I did film a few things, but I did that thing again to where then I start thinking about what I did and thinking about what else I want to say or add in, and then I just didn't put them up. But if you're wondering what those two things were, is I did a video comparing the new Beauty Pie, well, they're not new, they brought them back, but comparing them to the old ones that Beauty Pie had, and then also comparing it to the Charlotte Tilbury. But then I rethought the whole video, and I actually wanted to pick up, even though I'm on a low buy, so I had to use my budget, I wanted to pick up the Tarte version because Tarte just came out with one, and then also Flower Beauty did. So I'm just gonna redo the whole video, but that was one thing. And then another thing is I did a video where Revolution came out with these, which seemed to really be like their version of the Jones Road Beauty sorts of balms. And I filmed that as well. So I don't know, I may edit and incorporate it into something new, but then you just get to thinking about stuff and then thinking about what else you could say or what else you could add, and then it just kind of sits there. So other than that, I wanted to go ahead and do a get ready with me today. I'm gonna go get some unlimited sushi with my daughter here in a little bit, and I wanted to look somewhat decent before I go in. So, not that it matters. So I did get home a few days ago from that army trip, and then I came down with sickness, probably because I was in Frankenmuth, Michigan with no cold weather gear, like freezing my butt off for a couple of days. And I just kind of got sick. So I'm back and I'm ready to film. But you can definitely tell my face is all broken out. Like this happens every time I get sick. And I have already put away everything from my monthly makeup basket for January, and I put away my everyday makeup bag. So we're just gonna actually pull from the big collection here, and I plan on filming my monthly beauty basket like right after this. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Not that you wanted to know any of that. We're like 3 minutes in here and haven't said anything that you wanted to hear. So I'm first gonna go in with this NYX High Glass Face Primer. So I traveled with that, took it with me to Frankenmuth for my army stuff and wore it under my foundation, just because I wanted my skin to look a little bit more lively. The thing is though, I don't know if this is what has broken my face out so bad or if just being sick has broken it out. So I'm gonna continue to use it a little bit longer and see, but yeah, I have no idea if it caused any issues. I'm gonna put my hair back. So I did just wash my hair and use like a glossing treatment first on it. And the glossing treatment I used was from Beauty Pie here. And I brought it in here because I wanted to kind of complain a little bit. So it's a pre-wash magic glossing seal. So I'm looking at my hair now, and it doesn't look dead or anything, but it definitely doesn't look glossy. And also my ends look drier and more frayed than when before I used it. So I'm not 100% sold on it. Again though, I didn't really style my hair. So maybe if I style my hair with like a round brush or something like that, that will kind of help. But as is, my ends look deader than they normally do, which yes, I probably could use a haircut, but they normally don't look this bad. Okay, and then the foundation I wanted to use is from Ilia, and I'm 100% sure, well maybe not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this was not in my foundation tally that I did. And so when I was getting ready to go on this trip, I have a really bad habit of coming back from army, being too exhausted, and just leaving stuff in the suitcases. And so by leaving all that stuff in my suitcases, I started going through my suitcases because I was running out of like travel makeup bags and the like. And I found a total of 3 makeup bags that I had left in there from other trips. So, and 100% this is my fault, but also a little bit, I come in and I will just leave my suitcase in the living room for a few days with the intention of going ahead and unpacking it. My husband will get sick of looking at it and he will take it downstairs, and we have like these shelves in our basement that I keep my luggage on. And I probably have, I don't know, 6 or so suitcases down there. and 3 of them had stuff in them. I was really excited though because I did find a pair of shoes I had been looking for. But I've now also taken the stuff from those makeup bags and put back into my collection. And this foundation was one of them. This is the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 40. And I thought I would go ahead and try this because it has niacinamide and squalane in it, which my skin loves, but also the shade is pale. And I remember that I had a hard time last time I tried using it because it was too pale, and I'm probably the palest I'm gonna get. I wonder, does this say what shade I am? Does the bottle, I don't think says anywhere what shade I am. So I have no idea. But either way, I was thinking, like, do I need to redo like all of that tallying that I did for my makeup collection? And I just decided that no, I still plan on having less than the numbers that I counted. So in each month I'm going to be doing a little bit of decluttering, which I have, you know, done for this month, and I'll show you. I'm just going to go in with this and try to work this in. And that's another thing. I'm getting like super overwhelmed with the amount of stuff I have. To the point of like, I would just buy more makeup when I literally had 3 makeup bags just sitting there, which were full faces of makeup, not to mention the brushes that were in the bag. So I was excited to find the brushes again so I can start using those brushes. But I also have all these dirty brushes sitting here right now that I definitely need to clean. So one of the makeup bags I know for sure was from summer because it had like those sorts of summery tones I use in it. But this one had to have been from probably last spring when I was pale then, because I can't remember the last time I used this foundation. But it's actually looking pretty good. So I'm looking at my nose. It's looking a little bit streaky though, and I'm wondering if this is one of those foundations that's best to use with fingers. Like if I, look how like streaky it looks on my nose. Hopefully it settles in. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I don't need to look too glam to go eat my weight in sushi. It's making my face itch a little bit too, but I'm wondering if it's the brush or the sunscreen or what. Who knows? Okay, yeah, like I think it, what? Oh, my face is itching. Watch, it'll be like expired because it's been in there for a year. And I just keep, oh yeah, expires January of 2023. So you can kind of see it down there. So here's my thing with that. I'm going to use it for a little while. And I think normally when they have those expiration dates like that, it's because there's sunscreen in it. But yeah, when my skin deepens up in the next few months, I'll just get rid of it. Okay, I do want to hop in and use this Beauty Pie thing. I have 2 shades. I have the light and medium. I'm going to go in with the light. So you can see that I have used it. There's something different about this one than the other one, and I need to go in and kind of look over ingredients. But I had mentioned, and maybe I just didn't really notice before because they discontinued it for a couple years. But when I mentioned like in the Charlotte Tilbury one, see how it kind of goes pink on me? And I'm wondering if they changed the pigments a little bit to go a little bit more pink orange instead of kind of like that muted tone that was for lighter skin, because this is the light one. And for some reason, I just remember it being not so pink. So I'm a little bit like, and again, I could be 100% wrong and this is the exact same color, but like it leans very sort of pink. It could also be the foundation I used. It could be my skin is slightly, you know, paler. There could be a lot of variables here since the last time that I used this, but I just thought that was a little bit weird. I do want to put a little bit right here, and then I'm going to go over a few areas with some concealer. I like to do this before concealer, at least the under eye, because then I can kind of blend them together. And I'm first going to go in with a little bit of this Skin Food Salmon Corrector, which this is very inexpensive if you're looking for a good corrector that's inexpensive, especially since IT Cosmetics discontinued their corrector. This isn't as pigmented as the IT Cosmetics, but I think it still gets the job done. And then I'm going to go over that with a little bit of Hourglass concealer, and I'll put some here, kind of on the center of my chin, down my nose. I don't want to use a lot, but here we are. My daughter's guinea pig, I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but she moved his cage in her room to be on the back side of my office. And now when he gets water, he's like going for it. Like, you could just hear him like shaking it and banging the water bottle against my wall. I feel like I have to sit up really high and like have really good posture. I should like move this. Okay, I think that might be, yeah, I can slouch a little bit now. It was really annoying to me. Okay, I took my camera with me when I traveled, so then I had to put it back on the tripod and try to figure out where it needed to be. I'm gonna take this little Jones Road pencil and then just kind of like color in this hyperpigmentation that I have here from that blemish and pat it out. Yeah, but I literally just picked up that foundation, that Ilia. You know what? Just gonna go ahead, declutter that. Like, that's annoying. So I'm actually going to powder my face first and then try to use some concealer since it does pick up foundation. We'll try to use this Givenchy one. It's an absolute mess. Like, that's disgusting. I'll get it on this little puff. Yeah, my face is itching. Probably from it sitting in my suitcase for like nearly a year. Okay, I am gonna jump in and use a little bit of this concealer, which is the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage that I've depotted into this to keep it from drying out as much, and it's also just easier to use. It stays a little bit creamier when it's airtight. The compacts that it comes in, they're not terrible, but it doesn't keep them from drying out, which I do have a relatively new one because this is the old one I put in here that I should probably move to one of these things here soon. I had like an eye-opening moment when counting how many liquid cream sorts of blush products I had during that video, and that's something that I really need to focus on this year in downsizing. So I'm trying to use them as much as possible to just kind of see what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. And I have this from UNNY. UNNY? I have no idea. But I'm going to use that because this is one of those sorts of barely there blush situations that works best for people who were complected like me, that essentially the skin's just kind of desaturated. It doesn't have a ton of color to it, and it kind of leans a little bit gray, so then all colors kind of pop on it. So having something that is also desaturated just kind of looks more natural on the skin. And I think I mentioned that I was going to do a video about that, so I should get those blushes together that I think work really well for that. I've got the main part slightly flushed, but you might be thinking that I could use a little bit more, and that's where this comes in. So I love this little palette, as you can see. This is one that I actually just traveled with. I really enjoyed traveling with it. So I'm gonna take a tiny, tiny bit of the red and then take it between my two middle fingers And as you can see, like just the tiniest amount, because it really shows up on my skin tone. So I'm just gonna tap that in. There we go. Kind of blend it out around the edges. And then there's this one that's like a light, it's the glow, but for me it's not really like a glow highlight, it's a blush color. So I kind of use it in the highlight to blush area. It's like 5 layers of blush. Okay, and then I do use this. This though is like, it's just a little bit too much for me, like that's a lot. So I try to use a very fluffy brush to kind of diffuse it. So to get it in there, and then get the majority of that on the back of my hand, and then just tap it in a little bit. Okay, got a more detailed brush here. And just right there and into the brow a little bit. But then I powder over it because I still feel like it's a bit much. So I'm going to take this powder, same one as before, just try to work it into this, and then just kind of pat over it lightly. Because it's super glowy on its own, but it still comes through slightly. All right, let's get into the eyebrows. So I don't know what's going on with my eyebrows. I have not been loving the way they've been looking lately. I'm trying not to do anything to them because I'm trying to grow them out. But like here, it's just like, there's like a random bald spot. If I comb them down, that bald spot's more apparent. But if I comb it up, it fills it in there. But then like my eyebrows on the bottoms are all a mess. So I just kind of have to go in and I guess fill in where I can. I noticed though that when I was traveling, I was further back from my mirror and I didn't have as detailed of a mirror as I do right here. And I found that it worked better for my eyebrows because I just kind of stood at a distance and anything that was obvious I filled in. And then that was it. I left it. It took me just like a few seconds and I didn't fuss over my brows as much. When I sit in this mirror here that I'm sitting up close to it and it magnifies a little bit, I definitely then try to go in and do like every single hair, fill everything in. But then at a distance, when you're then standing back from me, which most people are because I don't allow people to get super close. When you're standing at a distance, I then look like I have big block eyebrows, which is not ideal. And then I'm just gonna take this brow gel from Kosas and try to comb through and arrange my brows kind of where I want them to be. So I usually just comb up the fronts because they naturally do that. And then once I get to this part though, I normally like kind of comb them back and down because again, that's how they naturally grow and seems like that's what they want to do. Then after that, you can kind of see this looks drawn on and I'm not loving that. I go in first with no added product to it, to the brow angled thing that I normally use, and just see if I can kind of smudge everything going on underneath it. And then if I can't, I'll go in with a little bit of brow powder to try to fill it in. So let's go into some eyeshadow here. I just pulled out a random Dior Quint. I don't know if this is going for what I want today. Let me pull out another random one. I don't even know which ones I'm getting. Or this one. You know what? I'll do this one because it is, ooh, I know. I'm gonna do that one on top of this paint pot from MAC. So this is relatively new to me. I replaced my old one. This is in Groundwork. I had the old one for years and I'm like, I need to just like replace it. I had hit pan on it and then I did the whole thing where like I smushed down the edges so that I could like get into it. But it was starting to like not perform the way I wanted it to, like not sheer out as well. So just like a thin layer of this first. And then I'm gonna take this pencil brush thing. Did I just hold up this again? I'm taking this pencil brush and I'm gonna smudge it under. All right, and then we're gonna brighten the eye area up by using some of these more shimmery shades. Let me see. So at the bottom, they're more kind of like metallic. I'm gonna go in with this one and kind of just lightly dust it over. To be honest with you, I think I've only swatched this. I don't think I've ever actually used it. Okay, and then on the outside, I'm gonna go a little bit with the more golden one. And then let's do this fun topper. Just kind of over the center, kind of merging what I did in the front and the kind of the gold. This feels like a lot of sparkle for sushi. Then I'm gonna go in with that deep shade. Yeah, the deeper shade in the center, I don't believe has ever been touched. All right, and then I'm just gonna work that into my lashes to thicken them up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab this guy here and I'm gonna curl my lashes. And I did a video recently where I tried out this mascara for the first time before it went viral, and I had a completely different reason for trying it out because the wand reminded me of a discontinued mascara that I used to love when I was in college. So that's why I tried it out. Then somebody got on TikTok really hyping it up, not disclosing that she was sponsored, and using false lashes to try to get her results. I like this mascara. I don't believe I like it as much as what my memory remembers. But I don't think I like it as much as, it's hard to say this. That mascara I held it at such high regard that I don't know that anything, even if I had that old mascara, would live up to the way that I feel like that mascara performed for me when I was in college. So with that being said, we're gonna go in again and I'm gonna zoom you guys in and not put on false lashes. And we're just gonna, you know, put some on. So that same person, I'll just tell you who it is because everybody already knows who it is. Michaela is her name. She's kind of the reason why I stopped watching TikTok beauty content in general. Because that short form beauty content tends to be a problem because usually they're just trying it out. They're not using it long term. They're not telling you how they properly use it or who it's for. They don't spend a ton of time with it, and there's less accountability on TikTok because you just kind of scroll to the next person. And it took me a long time before I actually started subscribing to people on TikTok. So then they would like pop up. There wasn't much community. I didn't really like, you know, follow any people just because it didn't feel like the videos were long enough for me to get to know them. I built no attachment to those people, in which that's good for them because you don't hold them to as high of a standard as like somebody that you might watch on YouTube, and they'll come back to your comment section and be like, hey, I tried this product out, spent my money on it, and I hate it. And for me, like, if somebody tells me in their comment section that they bought something upon my recommendation, I will literally go back and like comment back and be like, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Like, so other people in the comment section have another opinion. And I think the problem with the whole mascara thing is when people were calling her out on her TikTok video, she was erasing comments. People saying, hey, this is an ad. Hey, you're wearing false lashes. Like, whereas I actually use my comment section as a tool to where I can include other people's opinions. And I encourage you guys to do that. So if you love something that I don't like, go ahead and let people know in the comments, hey, I liked it, but my skin is this skin type. I'm like aging, I'm younger. I work in this kind of environment and it stays on my skin better. My skin's acne, like, let people know so that they know who it is for, because I'm only one person trying stuff out. And I don't have the perspective of everyone trying stuff. So I definitely encourage people to comment as long as they're being respectful. Sometimes people get like so angry if you say you don't like a beauty product that, they want to comment about it. And also people get really angry if they love a beauty product, I've noticed, and I'll do a review. Like I did the Charlotte Tilbury review where I was talking about how everything leaned pink, and I felt like the packaging was kind of cheap, and it annoyed me that I paid luxury prices and the packaging wasn't nice. And we no longer see the thumbs downs on videos, but I will tell you, I get thumbs down on videos. Like I got a lot of thumbs down on the Jones Road video from a lot of people because I guess they're diehard Jones Road fans. And they didn't like that I had an honest critique of it. So it happens sometimes, but I would rather, if you're gonna give a thumbs down, get in the comments and just say why. And actually you can go ahead and give thumbs down though, that still helps my algorithm. Like I don't care, but like say why. Like if you don't like something, it's okay to tell me why you don't like it. Again, as long as you're respectful. So, all right. So here's the mascara. I've put on, I don't know, I wasn't even like counting. Probably I would say this is about 2 coats of it. I think my lashes look great. The problem I have had with this mascara though, because as you can see, it built up, if I go to the side, it built up quite nicely. The problem I've had is because it builds up in that way, it gets a little bit heavy on the lash. And I'm gonna try it again in the summer, but right now, because the air is so dry, this does tend to kind of start leaving little black spots on my under eyes, like it kind of dries and cracks off a little bit throughout the day. All right, so zooming out, let's go ahead and do some lips here. Okay, so my camera was overheating, so I decided to go ahead and do my hair while I waited on that, and now we're gonna talk about these lip balms. So these sorts of like luxury makeup brands come out with lip balms in their actual lipstick packaging. And I'm thinking to myself, so I've been trying to use them. So I have them, I've been trying to use them, and I don't even know why I bought them. But I'm just trying to figure out their purpose, because I've had them in my purse. If you have like actual chapped lips, these will do nothing for you. If you're just kind of wanting something on your lips to help your lips glide, I think these are gonna be fine. But the best way I have found to use them is to kind of sheer out my lipsticks, or to help like my lip liner glide on a little bit easier without like looking too harsh when I put it on. So the one I'm gonna put on today is this one from Dior, because it has a more kind of matte finish. So the Chanel is, I think this is like the Rouge Coco Shine formula. And honestly, these just feel like they're lipstick formulas, just without the pigment. So I'm gonna swipe this on. And it feels matte, it feels slightly drying. Like, what is this for? I'm gonna do more research and I will compare them and get back to you guys. But what I have been using them for, I just put a layer on my lips, kind of like as a barrier. And I'm gonna go in now with my favorite lip liner. Here it is. It's the NYX in Nude Beige. I like this because it's kind of almost like a gray toned pinky brown. So we're just gonna kind of rub that around the edges here. And here's the thing, I could just leave this here, but I'm gonna go over with a gloss now. And it's almost like it turns the lip liner into a lipstick, essentially, is how I use it. And then the gloss I wanna use is from Lawless, and it's this lip pumping gloss, and I'm just gonna place this just a little bit in the center. This, by the way, is in the shade Velvet. So that's how I've been using them. If you know actually how these are supposed to be used, what they're for, because they are not for chapped lips, let's just be real. Okay, so let me know. Also, I wanted to point out, and I'll zoom you in so you can see better. So right here, it's already starting, it like flaked off and got on my brow bone. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of get that to get it. I don't think any has gone, actually, yeah, a little bit has gone below down here as well. I don't know if you can see, just a little bit like right there. But it's only been on for like 10 minutes and it's already starting to do it. Making sure, like, no, there's a little bit, like, you can see when I touch it. Hold on. All right, so now I'm ready to just go eat some sushi. You kind of saw a little bit in this video my thought process behind like trying out products and finding what works for me, because I was just pulling from my regular makeup collection. The only things that I'm a little bit iffy about, well, there's a few things I'm iffy about, and I guess I'll just reiterate. Actually, almost everything I'm iffy about. Okay, so the first thing I'm iffy about, we just talked about it, this mascara. I think it looks beautiful on my lashes, but my experience has been that I did, you know, like curl my lashes before, and you can see this side is already kind of like starting to fall down. And it does like crumble and flake a little bit, not loving that. So I'm still kind of on the fence with this, although my lashes, I mean, it does build beautifully on the lashes. I think my lashes look great. It's set too long in a makeup bag. It's expired by like a few days, I guess now, but my face is itching. So I'm just gonna go ahead, oh yeah, I said it and then it started itching again. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this, like literally toss it. I'll show it in my declutter video when I show you everything I'm decluttering, but this is gonna be tossed. These, why? The packaging is lovely, but I wish they actually put it in the packaging, made it lovely, and maybe it wasn't the same formula as the lipsticks. It would be nice if they were actually like balms that actually helped chapped lips, but these are not for chapped lips. They're just kind of like clear lipsticks. And the only purpose I have found for them is essentially to turn my lip liner a little bit softer into a lipstick. And I think my lips look great, but I don't know that that's something that like you would need. Like you might just be able to do that with a regular lip balm. Love the gloss, love this. I mean, I've been using it for a long time. I'm pretty sure it's discontinued now, which sucks because I don't have a ton of time left with it. I've had this, I don't know, maybe what, 2 years now? When did this thing come out? I didn't get it right when it first came out. I think I got it on discount, but like, and I use this every time, but just like a dot of it and it's like almost full, but then this more glowy one is like almost gone. So I do love that. This powder, I don't understand the whole quadrants. I get it, but like when I go to put it on my face and then like it's still in the quadrants on my puff, the only way to not have it in the quadrants on the puff when you do that is to then put it into the lid, but then you don't get equal amounts. So then it's just not consistent product. So that kind of drives me insane. But then like if I leave it on the puff in the quadrants, then I have like the little G's on my face. Like I have to work into the puff. I don't love it. I mean, I do like this, but I find that it's only working for me now as I'm pale. As my skin deepens up, it's not going to be as helpful, but it is a beautiful sort of barely there cream blush product. And this, I'm not sure if it's breaking me out or not. So we're going to kind of play around and see what happens with my skin, but I don't know, like I have a suspicion this might be breaking me out. But now also I haven't used the Ilia in a long time, and if I do break out, it could be the Ilia because my face is itching, especially around my nose. What's up with that? Also, I am gonna come back and do a video on these. I don't think it looks awful, but again, it does lean a little bit pink and I'm not loving that. So anyway, I think that's everything I talked about in the video. I hope you enjoyed this quick get ready with me and kind of my thoughts regarding the whole mascara gate thing, and just like TikTok in general. I literally do not trust anything that comes across TikTok. And I mean, even with YouTube, there are very few YouTubers that I trust that actually also share the same taste in makeup than me. So some of them that share the same taste in makeup than me, they start doing some things and then I feel like I can no longer trust them. I'm not gonna like out them, at least not in this video. But then they start doing like kind of shady things and I feel like I can't trust them. And then, you know, like, I don't know. I want people to be able to make money, but I also want them to be able to do it honestly while still maintaining the trust with the people that they're talking to. I think that your career, you may make a lot more money at first if you're dishonest, because companies will want to work with you because people are watching and you're hyping up products and you're doing all that, and I get it. But I think there's not a whole lot of like longevity to your career when it comes to that, because when people can no longer trust you, companies don't want to work with somebody that people don't trust, and people aren't going to watch you. So I would rather not work with companies and just essentially get money from people viewing my channel, which means I get less money, but like at least the people who are viewing like trust what I'm saying. So anywho, I'm done ranting. I literally was just going to do this video to put on makeup, and I feel like this video has like gone in 1,000 different directions. So I will see you guys in the next video, which will be my favorites for the month of January. Bye.